Sort of like how you were looking forward to beating the Boilermakers,
Yeah, well.
and that didn't happen.
No, and I felt so bad too because I was all week. I was like, Michigan State's not gonna let Purdue upset or let Purdue back in. You know what I mean? Like I didn't think that I didn't think it would happen. Like I really thought I trusted Mel Tucker. I was like I really thought that even with the injuries, even with I really trusted him, and it didn't happen. One thing that I wanted to say real quick. Really is and I've been thinking about this all week, and I know that Spartan fans are excited, and it's good to be excited. Don't get me wrong. Michigan State's not that great.
They are definitely punching well above their weight class,
and that's the thing. Like I think, and a lot of Michigan State fans would kill me, but Michigan State's not that good. They got lucky a lot of times, like Nebraska, that special teams play, and they got Kenneth Walker the third. Here's my hot take,
which in and of itself was, it's an amount of luck,
right,
and also knowing what you're doing. But, sure, don't get me wrong,
but it's also Kenneth Walker the third. Without Kenneth Walker the third, and I mean that one piece on this team, okay? One piece on this team. If you put in an average running back, hell, you put in Haskins from Michigan on this team. This team, that is the difference.
Above average.
That is the difference between being 8-1 and 7-5 for this team. Straight up, swear to God. I think that if you
7-5, wait, 7-5 and 8-1. You mean like?
Oh, I'm sorry.
9-3,
9-3, 10-2, whatever. Right?
9-3. Okay, so you're saying two
losses.
Like
a full season, this is.
Sorry, you're saying Kenneth Walker is worth 2 wins.
I am
above replacement.
I think
basically that's his war.
I mean, it's more than that though, right? Like Michigan State could beat teams like Maryland. Like I don't think that there's any chance that Maryland wins this week. I mean, obviously. But I also don't think that there's any chance that they lose to Western Kentucky, like in this, at the beginning of the season. I didn't think there was any chance. I mean, Miami might have been a beatable team. Northwestern, I was kind of iffy about, but they haven't turned out to be too good. But that's the thing, right? Like Kenneth Walker amplifies Michigan State's ability to beat bigger teams. Like I think that without Kenneth Walker III, they lose to Indiana and they lose to Nebraska. Absolutely, 100%. I don't think that this team.
Do you
is
think
that
they
great.
lose? They probably. I mean, they probably lose to Michigan.
That's without a doubt. Without a doubt,
he scored 5 touchdowns. He scored all of their touchdowns.
Oh yeah, he was their offense.
He had, not to say 156 yards isn't a lot, but the passing game is what got them in position for him to score a lot of those touchdowns.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't get me wrong. He thrashed them a few times, no doubt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that obviously that. So yeah, no, that's fair. I do think a Corum or no, I wouldn't say. I think Haskins is the better back over.
I mean, yeah,
Corum, but Haskins.
I don't think that Corum is that bad. Like what is he, a junior?
No.
Junior, sophomore? What is he?
I think he's a sophomore,
okay.
if not a junior. Well, I think most of and this isn't to say the Michigan backs are bad. They're great, and one of the reasons they're great is their tandem aspect, the dynamic duo of them. They're not neither. I don't think they could do it if one of them was the bell cow, right?
No,
the leading.
But I also think a lot of that is due to their offensive line. I think one thing that's interesting to me is Corum has a sick, yards per rush stat or something like that. If I can't go into it right now. Passing yards, rushing offense. Oh fuck, whatever. It doesn't matter.
So
let's
let's talk a little bit about Michigan State, and this will lead kind of nicely into the college football playoff talk.
Uh-huh.
So State, I mean, is it fair to say Tuck got outcoached in this one game?
Nah.
I mean, he just came off probably the best coaching performance of his career against Michigan.
Yeah, but I don't know I don't know if it's indicative.
And when I say outcoached, I just think it's and maybe outcoached isn't the right word. I just think Purdue's coach, he knew how to beat you.
Yeah.
He knew, if I want to beat these guys, I got to just throw the fucking ball and never stop throwing the ball and just keep throwing the ball. Late in the game, with a lead, and they said, we're going to keep throwing the ball because that's the best chance we have to get a first down. And I respect it. That's hard to do.
I don't think that
to just say fuck you, I'm going to throw the ball.
I don't think that it was listen, it wasn't the most strategic game plan. You know what I mean? Like here's the thing with Purdue. Okay, and they're a good team. Like, they're not a bad team. I won't say that they're a bad team. I think their defense is a lot better than people give it credit for. I think that their main issues are in their offense, right? I mean, that's how they beat Iowa, was with their D. Like, that defense only gave up 7 points to Iowa. And, I mean, they were able to just sneak out 21, which is about average for a college football game. So it's not like they were putting up and pounding points in. I mean, I'm still surprised that game was not 10-7. I thought it would be 10-7 they win, not 21-7. But regardless, so the thing with Purdue is this was the reason why I gave Michigan State 100% chance to win this game. And I was very surprised. This was the worst defensive game I've ever watched in a college football game, and I'm not even lying. And this is gonna say, and I've been starting to watch Maction this year. I've been watching Maction. There are 72 points per team in those games. Like, I was watching Toledo and Eastern.
Always bet the over.
And it's like 50 points for every team. And what is it? Like, I think Toledo put up 600 yards of offense and still lost. How does that happen? No idea. But I will say this real quick is that Purdue is not a bad team. And my biggest concern for them was that they were one-dimensional. They got no run game. You know how many yards rushing they had against Wisconsin? I'm pretty sure it was -12. That is not sustainable in any level, especially against Michigan State. And I know that Michigan State had holes on defense. Like, that is not an excuse either. But I will say that they shouldn't have played that way. At one point in the game, I tweeted this, all right, and it was pretty simple. Defend the pass, and that's all you got to do. I'm sorry, but if you're Purdue, you just pass the whole time because you shred that secondary. That secondary had nothing for you. They had corners falling down on fade routes, just straight up tripping. And like, I don't know how that was. Again, it wasn't even that it was like an offensive mismatch. You had guys that just fell over. And I don't know, like, that was one of the worst defensive performances I think I've ever seen. And the good news for Spartan fans specifically is that it's a fixable problem because Mel Tucker comes from a defensive background. So, like, he knows, like, you trust him to fix that issue. So I just think that, I don't know, like, you think that it's got to be, it's a fixable problem. And if it's not, then that sucks. But now, I don't know, like, and I think that Michigan State will beat Maryland this week, but I don't know about. I definitely think that Michigan has a better chance to beat Ohio State than they do, and I also think that Michigan State may lose to Penn State, but that would still put Michigan State at 9-3, which is exactly where I think that their borderline expectations are. But again, I don't think that Michigan State's that good.
No, I think. This is one of those things where it was like, it's funny, like, is it a trap game if everyone calls it a trap game?
Absolutely not.
Because, like, everyone was like, this is a trap game.
And that's my thing, is I think Michigan State was number 3 because of the big win against Michigan. But they did not deserve to be there. I think that, and I think this goes into my point about the CFP too, is that Cincinnati's number 5, right, this week, and I don't think they deserve to be there. I think that Cincinnati should be like 8 or 9.
But they're undefeated. Isn't that supposed to mean anything?
Right.
Yeah, join a real conference and then we can talk.
And
have a real schedule.
And I think
we can talk.
And I think,
no one will schedule against us. Join a real conference.
and just to finish up with the point on Michigan State real quick, and I think that, like, Michigan State they're not a bad team. I think they're above average, and they played above average. They've found some way to win every game. I just think that Michigan State is more like an 8 or 9 team. I think that if Michigan State played Cincinnati in the playoffs, I think that would be a toss-up. I don't think, but again, I don't think that Cincinnati is that great. Like, I don't think that they're a top 4 team. I think that Cincinnati's good enough to get in an 8-team playoff. I don't think they're good enough to get into a 14 playoff. And everyone always argues, and I understand this too. Everyone always argues like, the 14 playoff, like we always like the dynamics have changed with the rankings because we always put all of our pennies at the top. And I'm like that. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah. You want the best teams in the 14 playoff, and if the best 4 teams aren't there, then what the fuck is the point? And yeah, I don't know. I just don't think that Cincinnati's that good. I don't think that Michigan State's that good. But I also don't think that, again, that was one of the most pathetic defensive performances I've ever seen. And I think that at one point, bend but don't break catches up with you. And when you got holes on defense, that's not a good place to play. And for Michigan State fans, it's a good thing, too, that Mel Tucker came out here, said, A, we're not going to blame the officials because that targeting penalty was bullshit. But we're not going to blame the officials. We're going to go out there and play again. We're also not going to...
I do find that funny, that the fact that he said that. It's a very subtle way of being like, yeah, that call screwed us a little bit. And like he's saying, oh, we're not going to do that, but like in doing it, he kind of did it.
Yeah,
and and don't get me wrong, I'm sure his message doesn't change the locker room and and I'm not. He's definitely don't get me wrong. Him doing that is like, if you're gonna say the officials, I don't think he's even saying they screwed him, but if you're gonna say, yeah, that was a bad call and that probably hurt us. That's the best way to do it because it's very subtle, but it still sends the message of like, yeah, but like whatever, we move on. Whereas Harbaugh is talking about it 9 days later.
Well, and that's the thing, and again, I don't think that Michigan State that penalty was. I will argue that it was a turning point in the game. I don't think that it happened and then Michigan State seemed to sort of fall apart. But that's the first time that I've seen that. That's the first time that Michigan State has caught adversity this year, and they've just kind of collapsed. Because before they've caught adversity, and then they just rise above that.
And they kind of and the thing is, they started coming back in the second. The issue was they could not get the defense to.
Well, it was after that. It was after that targeting penalty, and I'm not gonna say that Michigan State lost the game because of that targeting penalty. But after that, Michigan State started to fall apart. I will say though, if you play like that on defense, you don't deserve to lose a game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You don't deserve to win a game. Sorry. My bad.
They did not do what was necessary to come out with the victory.
No, absolutely not.
Just like Michigan didn't the week before.